So, you want to hear a story, huh? Have I got a story for you? There was a legend.
Welcome to our exploration of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and today we are going to be unlocking the secrets of this mysterious and magical land. I'm Eternal Dragon, your friend and host here on the channel, and today I'm going to be taking you through the secrets of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. One of the best ways to unlock the full potential of your character for endgame is to complete all of the world buffs for your character. You will find them over here in your journal, just to the right of your quest log. And listed on the top right of the screen, you will see powerful bonuses that can be unlocked by collecting the shrine pieces hidden across the world, and then activating each shrine, and then also completing the challenges hidden throughout combat maps, like finding all the marbles or defeating the obelisk boss in each map area. Don't miss these, as they will really help you out in the higher chaos levels. One of the things that scares a lot of people into getting into this game is the number of chaos levels, especially if they have to catch up to their friends. Well, did you know that there's a way in the game that you can secretly unlock your chaos level for a friend? All you simply need to do is head on over to the Chaos Chamber and then invite a friend into the game that you are hosting. Then
Think you can make
you
it?
go ahead and you launch a chaos trial. Now, you might be thinking, I've already done Chaos 100. How am I going to launch that Chaos trial for my friend, beat it, and unlock Chaos 100 for them? Well, take your mouse, hover over Accept when you're on boss run, and then you see you can tab over to the Chaos trial. And with your mouse still hovering over Accept, you press Enter on your keyboard, and you will see we have now launched a Chaos 100 trial. We see we're still Chaos 100, and we have launched the trial. We can go on in. And once we're in here, you will see that we are still running a Chaos 100 trial. And if you beat this with your friend in the game, they are now at Chaos 100 with you. Now, if you have the PLCs and you're having trouble with them at your current Chaos level, you're just finding the boss too hard to beat or the level's too hard to get through, you can always just go ahead and set the game to Chaos 0. Oh, it's not shown there. But you'll see it's not shown at the bottom. Make your way through, beat the boss at Chaos 0, and then you can head back out. And then here, you will see we have still retained our special resource down here in the bottom right, those crystals. So we set ourselves back to whatever our top chaos level is. That takes a second. Apply. And you will see when we load back in, we have maintained those crystals. And we can go right on over here to spend our souls at Chaos 100. You see, we just went down to 84. That wasn't very lucky. But you know, we'll see. We got Ascended gear coming out, because we are at Chaos 100. So there you go. Another secret hidden in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is that after you beat each Chaos Chamber, there is a chance that one of 3 glowing runes will appear somewhere in the chamber. If you find one of these, you can click on it to begin one of 3 different puzzles, which when completed will activate a secret red portal at the end of your Chaos run. Be careful though, powerful secret bosses are hidden beyond these red portals, and if you fail to beat them, you will fail your entire run. The greater the risk, the greater the reward though. If you can find and beat all 3 of these bosses in a single run, then Tina herself will appear and challenge you to an all-out battle. So this is the blue rune puzzle. You activate it here, and this one is a little different in that it will give you 2 target areas, not just the one. The first target area you see there, it spawns 3 blue spheres for you, and the second target area is actually where you'll be trying to lead a sphere. So you head back over to your first area where you see the blue pillar of light, and you stand in the little puddle zone that is clear the barrel. Stand in the puddle zone until one of these orbs actually spawns into an orb that will chase you. And then very carefully lead this orb across the level. Now, if it hits anything, it will die. You, the level, anything. Don't let it hit anything because you need to shoot it in a minute. Just be careful, lead it over here. And then as the screen starts to shake when it gets close, shoot the orb. And that's how to complete the blue puzzle. So now we have the green puzzle. Trigger the rune here. And for this one, it just creates a little mushroom in the ground. You grab onto it, and that will activate the mushroom. And now it is skeet shooting time. Just shoot the lit spheres as they are descending in order, and the lighting on them you see will change between orbs that you need to shoot. You can use ricochet weapons here to make this a little bit easier, and you can also use a sigil spell and it will tend to just destroy them all at the same time as you see the lights lighting up. Because they're inside of your sigil, it'll just switch between them really quickly, and basically it looks like it destroys them all at once. And that is the green one. Finally, we have the yellow rune puzzle, the easiest and the hardest. It only gives you 1 target you have to shoot to destroy, but if you're not careful, its rotating light beam can blind you. So just destroy the outside of the rock, then kill the sigil quickly. See how bright that was. The Chaos Chambers hold many secrets, and these floating colored skulls are just one of them. If you happen to find one, go ahead and shoot it, and then it will lead a glowing trail towards a small circular statue, which you can then activate for additional rainbow crystals for your run. These things are everywhere. Keep your eyes open. One of the hidden damage mechanics in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is also a really fun Easter egg. Whenever you run into smaller mushroom enemies, you can Goomba stomp their heads and flatten them, just like in the Super Mario Brothers. How silly is that? If you have a favorite quest reward that you've been using in Tiny Tina's Wonderland on your playthrough, or in your Chaos levels, and you have unfortunately gone beyond its usefulness, don't worry. You've also secretly unlocked the ability to buy higher level versions of that gun in the vending machines. All you have to do is keep save loading, or travel between zones until you find a vending machine selling the weapon you want. Here we have an Ascended Negotiator of Ardor. Another interesting secret in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is that the enchantments on your items are actually tied directly to your character level and not to the item level. So, for instance, if you look at this particular item, I am at level 40, and I would be getting this exact enchantment benefit, spellcast 15% for 10 seconds. However, if you get an item that is higher or lower level than your current level, and I happen to have, hilariously, a level 42 shield that I got to drop in a friend's game. You can do that if you join a lower level friend's game as a maximum level character. You can get higher than level 40 gear. Well, you will see right there. Increase melee damage by 42%. Now, if I were to actually be able to equip this, I would still only get melee damage bonus 40%. But this also works on lower level items. So if you have a level 20 shield, you will think that you're not getting as good of a benefit off of the enchantment, and you're not at level 20, but you are, in fact, at level 40. So it's crazy how that works. The enchantment is actually tied to your character level, and not to the item level. Now here's an unlisted fact about Tiny Tina's that you definitely want to know. Did you know that the damage that enemies, barrels, water, anything that is a DOT that is going to be dealt to you will scale its damage off of your potential status damage? This even includes the amnesia armor. So anything that is going to be dealing damage over time to you will in fact get additional scaling from your wisdom and any other status damage bonuses that you have. Be careful, if you want to burn the world, it's gonna burn you back. One of the biggest secrets in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is that the game uses RNG seeds, which means that every time you load the game, it randomly chooses a number and uses that number to generate all the rest of the random items and all of the enemies and the spawn locations and everything in the game. Now, there are a lot of set locations, of course items are within certain parameters, but if you ever wanted to know how all those different parts on all the different items come up, it is your game seed. Now, this is important to know about because sometimes you will run into a game seed that is making the game ridiculously hard for you in the chaos levels, and it's definitely worth it to just go ahead, turn your game right off, turn it back on, restart it, and refresh your seed. But beyond it being useful for fighting enemies, in addition, it is also very, very useful for looting, because you can get lucky seeds, and when you get a lucky seed, and there's nothing that makes it lucky except that the number interacts really, really well with the Wonderlands game engine, you get legendary drops like crazy. And now if you've ever been in a game where you felt like it was dropping way more legendaries than normal, and then the next time you load it up, you're like, oh, where did my luck go? Your seed changed. So, all you need to do to try to get a lucky seed is close the game entirely and relaunch it. Eventually, you will find, if you keep trying, you can get one that you will have legendaries dropping like crazy. Like we are talking on a regular playthrough, you can gear yourself up entirely in legendaries. Another secret that you can unlock is hidden in Brighthoof, and you get it by simply beating the game. Once you have beaten the game, and you've unlocked your Chaos Chambers, head back through Brighthoof, over here, past the portal, down the stairs, and you will find this portal has been opened. Once you go through, you are in the secret dev room. You will find that there's a super duper fun mural to take a look at with lots of the devs, and then just some basic loot to go through. But it's a really neat room, and it's only available once you beat the game. The final secret I wish to share with you today is that melee attacks and melee damage are actually very different things, and you have to be very careful when you are looking at items and skills to see how they will particularly interact. A lot of people will unfortunately just look at something that says melee and they equate it to all be the same thing, but they are very, very different in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Right now, for instance, we are looking at the Spellblade. You will see two things on it have melee attacks listed. So we have Spellblade, melee attacks are additionally increased by spell damage, so that means that your swing, your attack, is being increased by spell damage, but that's just the melee attack. Your melee damage for your character is not being increased by spell damage overall, only your attacks. Now, the same applies for Echo. Melee attacks deal 10% of all non-melee damage dealt by the Fate Maker over the last 10 seconds. That sounds amazing, but guess what? That was a melee attack. If you miss, that damage is gone now. When you hit, that is melee damage being applied, as compared to this being a melee attack. So over here, we can take a look at a skill, Arsenal. And you can see that we actually have 15% increased melee damage. So that's going to be any time that you are dealing melee damage or melee damage is being called for in your damage formula, it is increasing here. Whereas over here, this is only melee attacks. So for instance, Echo will not increase your melee damage by 10% of all non-melee damage dealt by the Fate Makeover over the last 10 seconds. It doesn't do that. It only increases the one attack. And so like I said, if you miss that attack, you miss your Echo. And so it's very important to know about how these interactions work, because a lot of people will just get confused in between melee damage and melee attacks, and how they think certain things should interact in the game, and sometimes you'll find they just don't if you're reading it wrong. So thank you, friends, for all coming and joining me on this trip through Wonderlands, enjoying all the secrets that I know hidden throughout the land, and there are more coming, my friends. This is just the first part of the guide to dip your toes. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Happy gaming!
I come flexing with style and mad skills, like my name was Eternal Dragons, game playing builds. So come get your fill, cause you paying the bill. The conflict's critical, situation real. I'm a pop, I'ma let it rock, those mark, old school 360 like an Xbox, make it hot. What you got, gonna give me go right? I'ma watch my watch as I watch you fly, slowing down my lyrics.